All right, there. We're here next day with the GE. Now, what I was saying yesterday, this has got some clear evidence of pretty substantial damage. This is where the Venturi ring is spot welded, and these kind of form where it seems all kind of jacked. There's a bunch all over the bottom and the top of the fan. So I mean, it's kind of likely that what we're seeing, and again yesterday we were noticing that there's a dent here in this front housing of the oiling mech thing. You know, here you can see the little felts that go all the way up to the front, right there. Anyway, so you know, I got all this stuff cleaned off. The shaft areas don't look. The shaft looks good and the bearing looks good, but if it's all bent, you know, if it's out of true, then it's going to shake like crazy. So we're not sure. We're going to find out. It could be just the blades that are way out of balance, and maybe the rotor is okay. How would we test that? I don't know. Pull another set of blades off of one of the other GEs and throw them on there, I guess, right? But for now, what we're going to do, we're just going to oil the felt here. I'm going to drop some oil on it. And this will hold a good amount of oil. Someone said that these fans hold as much as like a couple of tablespoons of oil. So that's what I'm just going to do. I'm just going to drop a bunch of oil in here. Make sure that this is all oiled up. Flip it over, do it again. And you know, it'll take a good amount of oil, so you don't want to underdo it. The other thing that's going to happen is that the other felts that are on the other part of the motor, we're going to oil them too, and they're going to draw oil out of this. So we want to make sure it's very, very filled, indoctrinated. That's not the word I'm looking for. You know what I'm looking for. Impregnated is the word we're looking for. So we're going to keep doing it. It's a lot of oil, but we got more of this stuff. We don't have to worry about it. So I'm just going to flip it a couple times and make sure it's got a lot of oil going on. And that's our plan for the C felt. And then we'll keep moving on. So I'm going to do a little oiling just to try and get the oil to go onto each of these four felts that run the length. And there's a little felt underneath this washer that we weren't able to get out. But again, we're not going crazy on this one because we're not even sure how much we're going to be able to affect the condition of this machine anyway. And I kind of want the oil to go down into the bearing all the way down, and it should drip through onto my paper towel underneath there. First thing we're going to do on the front here, because why not? And I guess, okay, we see the oil did go through, so we got some oil on our bearing, hopefully enough. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this to the side for now, because I want to do a little more cleaning inside here. See if I can, oh, don't fall, buddy. Good, and then once we have the rotor in and supported, we're going to oil these four long felts, just so that there's some oil headed down that way. And we're in the home stretch anyway for the first part of this reassembly. Again, we're just going to put a little oil on these four lateral felts, and these felts run all the way up to the front of the motor that you saw before. But what we put on next is we go red washer, plastic, red, and then tooth washer. And I didn't really flatten this out. I don't know what to do about that. Maybe I'll hammer it flat a little bit. Maybe we'll do that right now. All right, I gave it a little tap, and it's a little flatter. I may have flattened out the little lip. Stupid. but I think it'll still do its job. And so now again, we go fiber washer, and the fiber side was down, the red side was down, and then we put our plastic, that goes on, and then our other fiber, and the red side was up, and then our tooth washer, and we are back in business. Next, the final part, C-clip. This is the hard part. All right, in the past I found that somehow tweezers end up being kind of helpful to get this C-clip on here. And again, this is by far the hardest part of this. Mainly because if it goes flying across the room, there we go, nice. That worked good. And our tooth washer, it's got a little room to spin. This kind of, I think on some of these there's a felt in between those. I don't know, maybe. But that's the way it was. I think the idea is that the tooth is supposed to catch the C-clip and it's not supposed to spin in there like that. But it is spinning in there like that, so that is what it is. Off camera, I'm going to flatten the plate. This plate needs a little work before we put this together. I'm going to flatten it out. You see it's kind of bent. I'm going to flatten it out. I actually had to clean off the back of the plate. There was all this gum and garbage on it from the felt, really. Got that cleaned off and it's fairly flat. So once we get the oil felt in, we'll tap it back together, we'll see how we did. You can see I use paper towel to keep from getting oil on the windings. Why not, right? We want to remember to orient our oil opening here, our hole that we drilled, to the top. Mainly so that if oil pools here, it doesn't come out of the fan. And this is going to be the top, more or less, of your motor. So we'll try and orient that so that it works. Right here it is, back reassembled. We got a better situation on that right there, the spinning of it. I dressed the end, I dressed the inside of the blade hub, so we should be able to get that together. That looks pretty good right there. Does it look out of whack? It doesn't look out of true at all. Let's try and spin it without it shaking too much. Yeah, I don't know. Let's run it just this thing and see how it acts. This is just the rotor low. Doesn't seem to shake too crazy. It doesn't look too out of true, really. Medium. High. I don't know. All right, let's throw the blades on and see what happens. My hat caught the camera, and I wear a hat because I'm obscenely bald. Not that any of y'all care. I'm not exactly in competition with the Kardashians and Unilad or anything like that. Am I putting this in the wrong way? What am I doing here? Yes, I am. Let's try it the right way. You ever use the wrong Allen wrench and bung up a set screw? I have. Alright, we're back and we're going to see how bad it shakes. I guess we'll go right to high. What the hell? So yeah, just have to figure out how we balance the blades on a guy like this. Obviously, it's oiled now, so that's good. But that can't run like that, so we got to figure out which blade is out of whack. Let's see what we figure. Here it is run up to low. Alright, so on this part you actually can see it. You can see that the blades are out of balance once the frame rate catches up to the blades. Right about here. Nope. Here. Nope. Right here. Right there. You can really see it. And so, but I was unable to really effort that, and they look so close in person that I don't know. And it's hard to tell if it's the blades that are off, one of the blades itself, or the whole hub. And so what I ended up doing was putting some weights on. You'll see in the next part. So stay tuned for the next video on this. We're going to keep working on it. If we can get it balanced so it doesn't shake itself to death, we might end up with a nice runner. We'll see. Thanks. Yeah, so I mean, anyway, it runs kind of quiet. We just got to figure out what blade, if it's a specific blade that's out of whack, or if it's the whole deal. You know, if it's the hub itself here. You know, so we'll have to wait and figure that out. But at least this way we can test it. It doesn't have a bunch of garbage in it. There's oil in the motor. We can test. You don't have to worry about that. So there you go. Reassembled. Now we just got to balance the blades because they're pretty out of whack. Hopefully it's not the hub. It's just one of the blades, and we can get them closer and shake like that. So anyway, Blue GE. Keep working on it. Thanks for watching.